What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video, and today we're playing Far Cry 5 on the Xiaomi Mi Notebook Pro, the i7-8550U 16GB edition, and on top of that we actually have the GPU overclocked. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Alright, so here we are in game, and let's go ahead and get started by checking out the graphics settings. So I have settled on 720p at the lowest graphics settings with TAA on. It's really your choice if you're on SMAA or TAA. Either way, we are limited by the GPU here. The VRAM buffer, it's very low. It's 2GB. It's not enough, especially for a heavy game like Far Cry 5. That said, we actually get a pretty decent gaming experience. Very consistent, very smooth, and overall very enjoyable considering what it is. So let's go ahead and get started. So right now it's nighttime, it's hard to see stuff, but as you can see, the frame rates are actually very smooth, and for the average frame rates we have actually got 42 FPS. Now as for the 1% lows, we got 31 FPS, and for the 0.1% lows, we got 18 FPS. And if you don't know how to use these numbers, well, they actually determine on how much stutter you'll get during gameplay. And if you don't know how to read those, then here's the original ones, the average, the max, and the minimums. But as you can see, the game is actually very playable, very smooth, and we're constantly getting 42 FPS stable. Even when there are a bunch of enemies and explosions, the game will still run pretty smoothly. Anyways, I'm gonna actually wait for the game to go back to daytime so we can run around, and yeah, we'll be back in just a bit. Alright, and we are back, and now it's daytime so we can actually see stuff. And yes, this game does suck playing at nighttime. And no, if you're wondering, you don't have a sleep mode where you can sleep and wake up the next morning. Anyways, here's what it looks like during daytime, which you can see much better. Let's go ahead and get some action. I'm gonna turn on sound so you guys get an idea of what the speaker sounds like once again. And yeah, we're gonna be playing for around 5 minutes, or cut down the video to 5 minutes, and I'll give you guys the results. So the game does look pretty good once again. It does play pretty nicely, and overall I haven't had any real issues when it comes to consistencies. It has been very consistent and very, very enjoyable.
You heard anything about this junkie holed up in the old saloon? Guess he's got some concoction he says can make you run faster and hit harder. Don't care for needles, but right now I'd take all the help I can get.
Whoops.
Going that way.
Let's do this.
Themselves at these walls for days. Just won't let up. They kicked open a hornet's nest. Trucks on the road! Damn it!
West side! Watch your back! They're coming up the west side!
Alright, so let's go ahead and quickly talk about the GPU overclock and why I have done so. So some of you may have heard that Nvidia has actually had two chips under the same name of MX150. One of them is supposed to be the good chip, and the other one is supposed to be the lower quality or lower clocked chip, which is actually what the Mi Notebook Pro has. And I will leave a link for that article in the description below. I might have a short dedicated video about this, but essentially I was able to overclock this laptop to 200 MHz on the core clock and 100 MHz on the memory clock, and has been very stable ever since. The temperatures haven't got any higher, and really I actually only got a couple FPS here and there. But yeah, you can definitely overclock with these settings. You can probably go to 250 and maybe 150 for the memory clock. We were actually able to overclock this laptop to match and actually just be a tiny bit better than the supposedly good chip. Now it has been said that they have done so to avoid confusion, but that's not cool, getting a lower end chip when they're both on the same name. And one last thing before we go ahead and take a look at the temperatures, the CPU utilization is actually less than the GPU. The GPU is always on 100%. The CPU, on the other hand, I think I was getting around 36% utilization, and again the GPU is on 100, while in Far Cry I was getting around 56 utilization, while the GPU is once again at 100%. And now if we go ahead and take a look at the temperatures, they're actually pretty good. The CPU only maxes out at around 80 degrees Celsius, and usually it is around 73 degrees Celsius, 76 or so. And this is in PUBG and Far Cry 5, and yes, we are going to be playing PUBG with the latest update, Overclock, once again on this laptop in the next video. As for the GPU, the temperatures usually idle around 56 to 67 degrees Celsius, but overall, it's actually a really good experience. The laptop manages to keep cool, even under a full heavy load. But yeah, that's actually pretty much for this video. So there you go. Can you play Far Cry 5 on the Xiaomi Mi Notebook Pro? Yes, you can, and you can actually overclock the GPU to match those supposedly good chips of MX150s. So yeah, you can play the game, it's very smooth, and overall you can actually enjoy the experience. And yeah, that's actually pretty much it for this video, so thank you all for watching. Hope you have enjoyed this video. If you did, hit the like button and subscribe for content like this, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care, everyone.